It's time for Who Watch, Time and Relative Blackness in Space.
Black girls have the box.
Hi everyone, it's Bayana, Connie, and Robin coming to you live from the Time Vortex.
Today we are continuing our companion series by discussing all there is to discuss about Donna Noble. Dr. Donna.
The best... See, Bill came along, and I also do kind of like Amy.
So you're trying to say the best companion?
Donna is the best companion.
The best.
Well, she might be the best written companion for sure. Now I think about it,
best written.
She's definitely the best written.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into that.
There we go.
I think the best companion and your favorite companion can be different.
Absolutely can be different. I think in my case they are the same still.
I mean, it's like the midnight episode is like one of the best episodes. It's not usually on any of my lists for like ones I go back to and rewatch.
It's terrifying and terrible and everything's horrible.
Super good, yeah.
It's
but
really
it's super good.
It's not terrible, but it is terrifying.
It's not terrible. It's terrifying for sure. But it's very good.
Yeah.
I was convinced when we were going to either London or Dublin, one of those long flights, that I was sitting next to the white lady from Midnight.
I remember when you said that.
I was I know her. I know her face. And it was bothering me because I was like, I don't know how I know her. I don't know why I know her, but I know her face.
And you don't want to know her.
And then it was
a flight, and they were on a flight.
Oh shit, is that the woman from, oh no, get off. Get off. Stop. Stop the plane. I know we're somewhere over the Atlantic, but pull over.
Shut it down.
Pull over. That's what you don't want. They got pulled over. You gotta make it to your destination.
I didn't want to make it there with her. It was fine, though. It was fine. I think my favorite doctor and the best doctor are different. Ooh, I'm not even sure, though. But definitely Donna is the best written companion that we've had so far.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Amy coming up
no, because Amy doesn't have a backstory. Like, her parents are there and they're not there. Like, her backstory messes her up for being best written for me.
Yeah, and I think she's there too long as well.
Yeah,
to be honest, and I think that kind of messes with it.
I mean, I don't know about that, but yeah, I can see that.
Not in that like her as like a character gets worse, but just like we should wait. Never mind. We're talking about Donna. So when we first meet Donna, it is right after Rose gets is now in the new dimension, in the other dimension, and she's all sad.
When she died.
All sad. When she died, she couldn't go on without her precious doctor. And so the doctor's all sad because she's met, Rose is gone. And he turns around in his TARDIS, and there's this woman who's a bride, who's just in his TARDIS. What? And they have no idea how she got there. She thinks she's been kidnapped, even though that doesn't really make sense because, how? But
Donna has
and because the person who kidnapped you is sitting there going, what?
Exactly.
Don makes
he has no idea what's
illogical leaps.
Which is why she's great.
Yeah.
But she's awesome. So they basically what ends up happening is it's a Christmas special, so it's one of the better Christmas specials, I think.
Yes.
I can't remember what my ranking was, to be honest. We did that.
We did no longer.
You know what? I always even forget that it's a Christmas special because it's good.
Yeah.
Right. True.
Yes.
It just feels like the first episode of that series.
Yes.
You know what? It might not be that high for me because I think the first half is good, and then I could do without the last half. Oh. Or mostly I could do without the alien, to be honest.
Yeah, the alien is, like, overacting like crazy.
And
I mean...
It's rough.
It's Doctor Who, but come on.
But it's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's the hissing, and, like, it feels like she has a lot of, like...
And the clicks.
Spit in her throat.
Yeah.
Just, like...
Just clear it out.
Just, come on.
But it's interesting with this episode is that I hated Donna so much when she first showed up.
Really?
I hated her. I was like, why are we doing this? Why is she so loud? Why is she yelling all the time? Calm down. What are you doing? And then now she's my favorite. Like, it's just interesting because even rewatching it, I don't feel the same way that I did when I first watched it. And I guess it was just it was one of those.
Did you know who Catherine Tate was before?
Not at all.
See, I think that's why.
I'm so American. So I didn't know who she was, and I think that, yes, learning who she was helps to understand it, and also she's the better written. But it's one of those... I guess it was like a 1-2 punch, because when you kind of binge watch the show, you're like, 9's the Doctor, and then it was like, wait, why are we changing? Oh, 10's great, okay, good. But then I wasn't used to it with the companions, because Rose was still around. So you introduced this new companion after Rose left, and when you watch it the first time through, you're like, Rose is pretty alright. It's, as we've discussed.
Yeah.
When you rewatch it, you're like, she does not hold up at all. For most people. Some people are still hardcore Rose fans. But, when you first watching it and you're, like, used to this companion, it's like, ugh, we gotta get a new companion. She's mad loud. She's asking all these questions. She does not respect the Doctor. I just really disliked her. And I can't remember now, like, obviously she shows up and then Martha comes in. And I think I was more ready for her the second time around. So I don't think when her first official episode happens that I felt like, oh, here we go. But I think, or if I did, it was very like a quicker turnaround in terms of liking her. And then by the end of the season, I was like, why does that have to go?
Right. Yeah. For me, I was confused because coming into the show, I understood like the companion and the regenerate. Like I understood that the companion changed because when the first episode I watched, Clara was the companion, and so I think, and I remember Robin saying that I think you told me the order, so it was Rose, Martha, Donna. But then Donna showed up first, and so I was confused. I was like, what's happening here? I thought Martha was next. Because I was just really excited to get a Black companion. But I liked Donna. I thought that, her chemistry with David Tennant is really good. Yes. And also she was ridiculous, and so that was funny. Yeah, I
didn't find the humor in it until, I guess because she is funny, and the show is, humorous, but it's not funny, and it's not overly funny or slapsticky. Not that she's slapstick, but her vocalisms was very just more aggressive in its humor, and so I think it was just the genre change that kind of threw me off, and then I got used to the idea of it, and then was better.
I think too the thing is, okay, coming from someone who is completely obsessed with all things British, and I've seen the Catherine Tate show before.
I mean, I knew who Catherine Tate was, but it was because she was in The Office by the time I started watching The Doctor.
But she also doesn't...
She's not...
Catherine Tate in The Office isn't Catherine Tate from the Catherine Tate show.
No, I'm sure. I am not disputing that at all.
Just so you knew who she was. Yeah, so I think that, coming from the Catherine Tate show and, where she got famous and how she got famous, she does, she's like Amanda Bynes as an adult and less problematic. But her show is, it's sketch show and,
I feel like someone's gonna email us, why would you dare? How dare you?
Because Amanda Bynes did that show.
No, I know she did. Show. I'm just saying to compare Catherine Tate to Amanda Bynes.
I said, listeners, listen. I said, but an adult and less problematic. I put the caveats there. Okay. Anyway. But
it was that kind of show.
Yeah, it was that kind of show. And she was that kind of
female sketch artist, comedy with her own show. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and over the top as a part of that. And I think it was one of the first time, and so it probably was the first time that there was a celebrity guest companion. And then we get it with the other Christmas special with Kylie Minogue.
I didn't like that one.
But Kylie Minogue also was a singer and
Yeah.
Not really an actress.
I mean, I know who she was. I know she was too, but
there wasn't any but they were really heavily playing off of. It was really Catherine Tate is on Doctor Who.
Yeah.
As opposed to like Donna Noble.
Yeah.
Is this like fully fleshed out character.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that I like the most is that when she comes back, they still have that, but they're like, okay, well now we need a fully realized character.
Right.
And so you get like the funny over the top screaming, yelling, like that doesn't go away, but then you also get like the softness that you see towards the end of the Christmas special when she's like, I think you need someone to stop you. And, you know, like, you just chill out a little bit. Let's, you know, we're talking genocide here. You're doing a lot. And so they flesh it out and they like, and it balances in a way that like, I really, really appreciated. Also because I think there were certain times like, sorry, both of you, but like Nardole is there because of Lucas.
Look,
I don't know what.
Look, you explained it, but they didn't do it right when they've done it right before. Like, we know you can do it right, and then they didn't. And so you apologize, but I still get to be upset about Nardole existing because you are making it worse because you're like, listen, this is what they do. And I'm like, okay, but now that I know that he's like a legit famous like comedian, but also so is Captain Tate, and you did it right the first time. Okay, but I'm just saying, sorry I brought up his name. I'm not.
That's what I thought you were saying.
I'm not apologizing for.
See?
I'm not.
Robin's not going to defend Nardole.
I'm not defending Nardole.
We are the Carbis, a.k.a. the Anti-Nardole Association.
I'm not about to.
Let's see what happens.
That's not at all where I was going.
Let's see what happens when you mention his name.
I know. I'm sorry. But what I was saying was, like, when they bring in those people, like you said, they've done it right the first time, right? But, like, there needs to be a balance of this person and their, like, famous comedian self and service to, like, having a fully realized character. Different writing team and all that other stuff that we've talked about before and we'll continue to get into. But I think that The Runaway Bride stands out to me because when you watch all of Donna's episodes, it doesn't feel out of place, even though they were writing this, like, one-off episode. Yeah. You still get this, like, you see Wilfred Mott, like, he doesn't do much, you know what I mean? But, like, he's there. You could tell that he loves her and, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think even just like you mentioned at the end where she's like, please chill, right? Because I think like after Rose dies, in quotes, the doctor gets angrier, right? Like he was always angry and like, dealing with stuff in his past. But once Rose is gone, then it kind of like, he kind of snaps a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little. And so Donna sees that immediately, like, not immediately, because at first when you meet the doctor, he's all charismatic and like smiling and like all running around with his skinny suit and shit. And so she sees like that look in his eye and is like, dude, you need someone to check you. Like, you can't be on your own. That's not cool. But it's the like save one person thing that she starts to kind of like, when she does come back. It's like it comes from that episode.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they don't, this is a problem I think with Moffat too, is like, he will completely discount what he's built up in companions in the service of an episode or an arc. And you're like, okay, but that's not who this character is. You know what I mean? Or that's not who you've been saying this character is. And RTD didn't do that as much. I mean, or at all. So we see Donna in the Christmas episode. The doctor asks if she wants to travel with him, and she's like, "Nah, spaceman, Martian boy.
I have my own life to live.
Like, you scare me.
You a little too cray right now, and I need you to calm down before you come get me again."
Yeah. And I think she was also like, I want to see the world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you talking about the universe, but I haven't even, like, left, like, my hometown. So, like, maybe I should, you know.
Baby steps.
And also, like, there's this really great exchange with them when he's like, you know, the invasion. She's like, I was in Spain.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So she's also super, like, she misses everything.
Yeah.
Which becomes, like, a running joke as well, because she just, like, I don't know what she's doing.
But she's missing it.
She misses it all.
Soaps. She's, like, watching soaps and, like,
I think when we have, like, isn't it in, like, Turn Left, they, like, mention the Titanic episode, and she's, like, sunbathing or something. Like, everyone's like, oh my God.
I don't know if it was in Turn Left. Because I think by Turn Left, she was, like, noticing the things that was happening. Yeah. But I remember that definitely. It was the Titanic. It was the invasion. It was something else, too.
Yeah, I don't remember what it is.
Oh, so wait. So this is, like, jumping ahead. But when, like, she has her mind wiped and everything, and she ends up back at the house, and she wakes up, and her friend calls her, and her friend is like, yo, we were transported across, like, the universe. And she's like, what? No, there's no way.
What are you talking about?
She's like, what do you even mean? And so, like, that was another, and that made it slightly
less heartbreaking.
Less sad. But before we get to that,
when we see her again, so she, like, ends the Christmas episode being like, you scare me, like, I need just baby steps in seeing the world and, like, you know, figuring out what I want to do. And then when she comes back, she's been hunting for him. Like, and she is ready. She's the first companion we see who's got hat boxes and a whole bunch of stuff.
She's, like, all her stuff.
I'm trying to be like
listen. Listen, you got closet space in there because it's bigger on the inside. So I know you have closet space, and so I'm prepared.
Let me claim my room. Let me pick out the one I want. You might have to move out.
Yeah.
You might have to build yourself a new room. I'm going for the master.
That was a fun, like, nod, because we never, ever hear or see about the companions sleeping on the TARDIS. Like, or, like, the fact that there are other rooms.
I mean, we get it a little bit with Eleven and Amy and Rory, because he got them
that was
bed.
later. Yeah, that was later. And it was still, like, a thing that was sort of off to the side. But at the point when Donna shows up, and she's just like, listen, I'm here for it. Here's all my stuff. I cleaned out my apartment because I know you got the room. I sublet it so I can have some extra cash in my pocket. It's one of the first times you're like, oh, right. This is a place where these people could live. As opposed to just show up, he drops them back off the same night they left, so then they go to their own bed, you know?
Right. And that scares the doctor, too, when she's like, she's like, all right, he's like, oh, you want to come traveling? She's like, sure, let's go to my car and open it up, and here's all my stuff. And he gets scared because he's like, what are you doing? Like, we're moving in together now? I just was gonna take you on a trip. Like, I'm not trying to look like he's like, I'm not looking for a relationship right now. I just want a friend. Like, that's all I
just want a mate. To mate?
Right, yeah. I was trying to paraphrase because I knew Robin was going to do that.
It's my favorite.
It's great because also it establishes their relationship, right? Like, Donna isn't with the doctor because she's in love with him.
Thank God.
Like, that's not... And so it's the first time we really get a situation where...
it was very clear.
Where it's clear off top that she's like, I just want to see the universe, and you're cool and all, and, like, maybe we could be friends at some point, but, like, right now...
Not trying to be interspecies, Martian boy.
Doing all that. Not doing all that.
No.
And he's just trying to be like, okay, but can we just remember I'm not from Mars? I find this very...
I love that so much when he's just like, I'm not from Mars. He just looks so, like...
He's so offended.
Yeah.
Well, then you see what the Martians look like, and you're like...
I might be offended, too.
I'd be offended, too. I mean, you know. Yeah. Not to say anything about the Martians. I bet you they think that we are very unattractive, but, you know, I'm not trying to be confused, for one. So what do you guys think about... I mean, I don't know if we should go into, like, her relationship with the doctor first or her relationship with her family.
I mean, I feel
maybe
like...
Her relationships are important.
Yes. I think with her family, because again, we've said this in the previous Companions episodes, that RTD did the family thing so much better than Moffat ever does, and so this is the last time we get this real sense of family with the Companions, and even the way that they had to adjust, because the actor who played her father in the one-off episode, he dies between the season when she shows up first and when the premiere happens, her first official episode. So, and I think I've read before they had bigger, his plan. He was supposed to be what Wilf was, but the way that they were able to bring over the bits of family that we saw in that first episode into the season and make them so real. And I feel like her mom is on the Jackie scale of this clueless woman who kind of doesn't understand
and it's a little terrible.
Yeah,
she is naggy, and she says some really fucked up shit to Donna.
Yeah, but then they kind of
and to her father. I don't know.
They balance it out with Wilf, which is interesting because even with Martha, she had her family and they were cool and all, but they weren't supportive in that same way. And obviously Jackie, and Rose, and I mean Mickey was sort of the support, but he wasn't supportive because he didn't like the Doctor. So Wilf is the first outside companion or family member who is supportive of what she's doing and sort of understands, but still is able to cling, keep her humanity, because that's what the purpose of the companions are for, especially with his connection to the Doctor too, which evolves later. But I think he still helps her keep her connection to Earth and her family, because Lord knows if it was up to her mother, she would have been listen, I don't go here
never
anymore.
Coming back.
I don't go here anymore.
You can drop me off.
I have a key to the TARDIS. This is where you should send my mail. I'm never returning.
I mean, she left her mom's car in the street and was just tell my mom that bin there. You can get the keys in the bin.
The bins are collected every few days.
Oh my gosh.
They just gonna dump it into their trucks. Oh, well, now she don't got no keys no more.
Better call whatever the AAA is in.
Better call AAA.
I guess it was supposed to be. Is that where the Sontaran? No. There was the thing where they I don't remember now, but it was in all the cars, and that was the gas. And that
that was later on, but that was Sontaran.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's probably their. Oh, look, we're the competitors to British AAA. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I think that it's interesting too, to know that the father was supposed to play the part that Will ended up playing, because I did really love that relationship, and it seemed so real to me, because I remember my grandfather and grandparents in general are just really great at letting you do whatever the fuck you want. And being super supportive of it.
There's some kind of thing that happens when you get a grandkid where you treat them the complete opposite of how you treated your kid. All of a sudden you just do whatever you want. I don't care. It's not my responsibility.
You get to put them back.
Yeah.
That's why.
It's probably also karma, for the kid, for your kid. Well, look at all the shit you put me through. Here.
Right. But I think that Wilf, I love that it was her grandfather. So I'm kind of I'm not glad that the dude wasn't able. That's the wrong sentiment, but I'm glad that
they made a really good choice out of what they had to do. Is what you're saying?
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I think that the thing that I think about the most when I think about Wilf is at the end, and we'll get to spoil heavy or whatever, when he drops her off after Dr. Donna, and Wilf being upset for her and knowing
this is gonna break her heart. Yeah, this is
she's done all of these things, and all she wanted to do was to go have these experiences, and now you're telling me that like all these experiences she's had, she can't ever know about them. Like, and I think it's a really like beautiful tribute to like that relationship of like I think parents want you, and you see this with like her mom too. It's like they want you. They're really much I think they're more concerned about like your security and being like taken care of and being like safe. Mm-hmm. And grandparents are like, go be your best self. Go chase the stars. Like, you want to be an actress? Do it. You want to drop out of high school and go pro? Do it. Like, do what you want.
You can do whatever you want, baby.
You can do whatever you want, baby. And then, like, you know, once you get 40 or something, then the grandparents might be like, maybe you want to think about settling down.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They're gonna let you go for your goals, like for as long as you like you can conceive of them. Mm-hmm. So I loved her relationship with her grandfather. I also like loved the end of her return episode when she asked the doctor to like go past the house and then like waved at him.
Her grandpa could see. It's so cute.
It was so cute.
Yeah, and he was so happy.
Definitely the thing that I would be doing.
All I see when I think of Wilf is him like waving at things with antlers or without antlers. It's just one or the other, you know?
Yeah.
I also loved that like the first time she comes back home after, or as far as we know, like in the season, after traveling with the doctor, is like she tells the doctor, she's like, I'm gonna go home, and he immediately thinks that she's like leaving, so gives her this whole speech, and then he's like, oh, you're just going to say hi to your family, huh? And she's like, yeah, it's not all that, because he's just like, you were brilliant and you're amazing, and she's just like,
did you see me pack up these hats? There's
right, like,
what are you doing?
I have like 5 hat boxes, fam. I'm not going anywhere. So yeah, I mean, I think that relationship is great, and I think it also kind of helps. Again, it just helps to ground the characters. And so I think that like kind of seeing how she interacts with her family then kind of also informs how she interacts with the doctor, and is able to like make him chill a little bit because he's so angry. And so like, which is partly why I love him so much. He's so angry. And so because he's so upset, like he just needs someone to be like, hey, maybe we do it this way, right? Because his first instinct is to just like burn it all to the ground. And Donna's like, hey, maybe we could, there's like some people over here, they're innocent, maybe we could evacuate them. Maybe, you know, maybe. Just possibly. And so I think that like that, you know, I think also that, and then the fact that like it's that, but also her having to realize that some things can't be changed. And I think that like there's a real like struggle that she has with that, with like, you should save one person, but also like we can't save all of Pompeii. Right, because it is supposed to, like, this is supposed to happen. And so it's like knowing when to interfere and knowing when not to. And I think the doctor, as we like when we're in places that are considered fixed points in time, not necessarily, because, you know, the doctor saves lots of people, but he's much more quick to be like, oh, it has to happen, so I guess we're just going to do it. I guess we're just going to let it happen, versus Donna, who's like, okay, but why does it have to happen? And, like, we should be able to fix it. So it's just, like, finding that happy medium.
As you were saying that, I was just thinking about Rose. The
Waters of Mars?
No. I was thinking about Rose and how Donna's thing is like, we can save one person, or like, why does it have to happen? And her concern is more when it's like these like global tragedies, or, you know, Pompeii, the Ood, like can't we do something to save all of these people? And the one time that Rose wants to interfere is for her own self and her daddy.
And also when she had to get back to the doctor.
Oh, yeah, and she killed him.
Yeah, and then she killed him.
Just still hilarious to me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I guess we can talk about her and the doctor, and I get we already sort of mentioned how they're buds, and there's no deeper
You
meaning.
Want to mate?
No, A mate. Well,
you're not mating with me, spaceman.
So good. So great. But also, okay, so I think part of it also ties into her age. The other two companions are much younger, and so she was more of a age peer to David Tennant. Because
which is like which is ageist as hell.
Absolutely,
ageist as hell.
But it's the thing,
but
that
also refreshing
Hollywood does.
Because we really did need it.
Right, it's the thing that Hollywood does, where it's like somehow Jennifer Lawrence is all of her. Someone tweeted the other day, it was like all of her co-stars since The Hunger Games have been like 20 years older than her, and like they're always like the weird love interest or whatever. So it's the thing Hollywood does, which is to like always compare the older man with the younger person, and like it's Britain and not Hollywood, and they do like switch it up later, but notably with like Eleven and River, but it's still like she's a peer of his, where it's like this could have actually been more of a romantic thing just because of their age parallels. But even without that, it's like one casting someone in her 30s as opposed to a super young actress was also, as you were saying, refreshing, because especially because you know that Hollywood / I guess whatever Britain's name for their community is, they don't often do that. Right. They don't often do that. So it was great to have someone who's just like a mature, she's a grown woman.
Right.
But like she and Tennant, as we've discussed, and they exemplify later in their like post-2 lives, have such good chemistry with each other that it's just easy for you to believe that they're just buds. They would just hang out and like be chill with each other, and like it's just their off-screen chemistry like really shown to the forefront, but in a platonic way, because a lot of times we talk about chemistry between men and women actors and like their characters, and it's always like, well, they have good chemistry and it's always sexual, but they have really great like platonic chemistry. Where there's just no deeper meaning to it, but it's still like very clear, as opposed to like two actors who have not platonic chemistry, but they're just friends because they don't have any chemistry with each other.
Right.
So
I mean, I also think that the thing with Donna and Tenn's chemistry, the Doctor and Donna, which comes a lot from Catherine and David Tennant's chemistry as well. But like Donna starts off their relationship telling him about himself, right? Like,
yes.
So
she never like was sucking up to him like, oh my goodness, you're so awesome, you're so great.
Right.
Like she did know that he was great, but she wasn't about to just be like,
yes.
But also it took her that entire hour to become enamored with him.
True.
Because at first she's like, just get me fucking back to my wedding. And then she's like, what the hell is happening? And at the end, she's like, I think you're pretty amazing, but like, you need to chill. And I think that like starting it off that way, because I feel like with Martha was like instantly attracted to him. You know, he's cute, but like he's attractive, but like then it all built from there, and then she was like, you know, intrigued by his brain, and you know, but she was like instantly physically attracted to him, and so they played off of that in a way that like I think they do similarly with Donna, which is like Donna's instantly telling him about herself, and then that continues on, and it only gets deeper with their relationship, you know what I mean? But there's also like he's telling her, like he's trying to help her. Like I'm thinking about the Agatha Christie episode when he's poisoned and she's trying to do charades. And, like,
it's so great.
And like
Harvey Wallbangers, and he's like, "What the fuck?
What the hell?
I am dying here."
Right, and I think like he's spending a lot of time being like, "You need to pay attention. Like you need to." Constant vigilance.
You can see the mutual growth, and it's not like because they are in love with each other. It's just because they're trying to help each other be
survive.
Better people. Yes.
Right.
Survive. You're absolutely right.
But yeah, I think that is like It's also one of the things that endears me to their friendship so much too, is like they do want the best for each other, but they're also able, like Amy and 11 get this kind of best friendship thing, but it becomes more of a sibling, I feel like, brother-sister relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe that's just Matt and Karen leaking through there. It just didn't feel sibling, especially because they did, like, she kissed him and, like, it was like, are we doing this again?
It got there later. It didn't start that way.
No, I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying is that, like, because it started off that way, when they tried to make it sibling-ish, I was still like, I don't know about this. But back to Donna.
But I think that, like, I do think that they were trying to recreate what Donna and 10 had. Mm-hmm. And they didn't quite get there. But I feel like Donna did treat him like a brother.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where she, like, people would be like, oh, are you guys? And she's like, who?
Oh, or she'd be like, or when they would, so like in the Planet of the Ood episode, they introduce themselves and he's like, I'm the doctor and I'm Donna Noble, and they call them Dr. and Mrs. Noble, and they're like, oh, let's put a pin in that. Not what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like they are very clear about their relationship. Yeah. Like with each other and to other people. So that helps.
And that is also refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
Because even when, like, you knew that Rose and the doctor were, like, in love, they didn't, like, have a conversation about it. It was never, like...
It's just longing and glances. And...
Yes, it was a lot of longing. And so because there was no conversation about it, it's like they knew the other one cared about them and stuff, but, like, it just still wasn't as clear. And that was just, I don't know. Yeah. And then, obviously... The Martha stuff was just so unclear because she's just had so many feelings, and he was like, I'm gonna ignore all of this because
I'm just gonna pretend
I'm too sad, and also I actually shouldn't be doing this. I should not be falling in love with my companions. It just shouldn't be happening. So the fact that 10 and Donna had such a very, just like an open, like, we are just well aware. We're going to tell all you. We're going to tell everybody that this is not happening.
Don't get any ideas.
Don't get it twisted is great.
And then we also get, like, when Martha does show up in this season, it's only the second time that we get, like, a previous companion with a current companion, right? And so,
and
like, within New Who, at least. Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it was refreshing this time, right, where, like, Martha and Donna meet each other, and the doctor's like, he gets a little nervous. He's like, let's, like, I know you guys might be getting jealous. And they're sitting there like, this clown? What is this? Like, y'all making sure he talk. There was a thing, I think, where he was talking, they were making fun of him for talking to the TARDIS or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I love that, like, they also, like, you know, it took them 2 seasons or 3 seasons to, like, get to this point, but, like, they're fine. They're friends. They're cool, like, off top, and there's no, like, weird, like, jealousy or pettiness.
Well, I was going to say Donna's a grown woman, but Sarah Jane also should have been a grown woman about it. Because you don't have women writing these characters.
Mm-hmm. And that's where I was kind of going with it too, is like, especially because you all, it's nice to not pit women against each other in terms of a man. Like, it felt and feels gross and unnecessary. Like, because it's such a trope.
Yep.
That we don't need it. And we didn't need it in, like, I don't need it in my science fiction fantasy world of, like, a 900-year-old Time Lord. I don't need a plot device being, like, 2 women fighting over him. Like, leave that to the soap operas and Young and the Restless or whatever, but, like, I don't need it in Doctor Who.
Right.
I mean, I do also want to point out, because we're talking about how, like, Donna is the best written character, but she also gets to be the best written character in the best written season.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the most consistent season.
Like, it's like, I was just, like, looking up.
Because I'm like, I don't know about
episodes. I was looking up the episodes and I was like,
bangers.
Like, no, I was looking it up because I was just like, okay, so like Partners in Crime, which is their first one, is lit. When they're like doing the thing separately, separately, and then they come together and they're like, oh shit, we've been doing this whole thing.
And they have that whole conversation between the window and the guy's like, the lady's so like, y'all. She's like, it's so
y'all want to be alone? See that, but it's fine.
I know. So, y'all saw it.
Podcast.
But yeah, and then you have the Fires of Pompeii, which then gives I feel like it's so good.
Yes, and I feel like season 4 has the best historical episodes for me. Like, I just like the places that they go. Like, Pompeii is like, I remember in 3rd grade I had a textbook that did a section on Pompeii, and I was really fascinated by the story. So to have them go to this place that I'd seen about but didn't really follow up on as an older person, I was just like, this is lit. Okay, next episode.
Also one of my favorite movies. But that's neither here nor there.
Is Pompeii actually good?
As
after what?
It is a masterpiece.
It is.
It is
up there with from Justin to Kelly.
So that's what I was gonna ask. If it was on the Justin to Kelly scale or actually good. Okay, understood.
The
intrigue.
The range of the diversity of accents, even though they're all in the same place. Are they?
It's the timeline.
The timeline
just is
the risk
is pretty quick. You know, it's risky, but it works.
Yeah, I mean, and also just the risks that they take in terms of exploding volcano, but let's have a horse carrot race and fight to the death. While we should be running away from an exploding, it has everything. It's just
it's a well-founded. It's for the people.
It is.
It's what it is.
Okay,
it's a masterful piece of work.
So we'll talk more about this offline.
Yeah, and Kit Harington doesn't wear a shirt for half of it.
For the whole time, pretty much.
Yeah. Kit.
Oh.
Jon Snow.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even know he was in this. Okay.
That's the star.
That we watched it. I mean, come on, Connie.
How dare you?
Have you met us?
Connie. I got by honor to watch an MI5 movie because Kit was in it.
Come on now.
Come on.
Okay. Good to know.
I when I watch The Fires of Pompeii, I like to be oh, on the other side of the city. Kit Harington is getting ready for the fight of his life.
I agree.
Okay.
And there's a kid who was in Degrassi who disappears in the middle of the movie. It's great.
Just
Slippery's little brother. All of a sudden, he's gone.
Was there no longer.
Got swept up in that TARDIS,
Mystery.
Well, I think one of the soothsayers let him know that he should get out of there.
Yeah. And he was like, I'm out.
And if he was Lily's little brother, that means he was black, and that means he dipped because he was black. And he was like, nah, can't roll with y'all.
It's a no from me. Okay, so while Kit Harington was, being a gladiator and shit, then we go to the planet of the Ood. Wait. Other thing about Pompeii.
Banger.
Planet of the Ood. I like that episode. The good thing about that episode is that it you said what?
Sad, but
it's sad. It's really funny because the guy who's the bad guy in that episode is also in Game of Thrones as Lord Glover. And so every time I see him, and he's really annoying in Game of Thrones because he doesn't give Jon and Sansa his army or whatever. And I'm like, that's why you lost all your hair and became an Ood. I'm just that's what the fuck you get.
Crossed in fandoms willy-nilly, reckless.
Well, I mean, we did it. So, but the other thing, Robin and I are the only two people in the Pompeii fandom.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing because clearly it's just you two. I just met the only two.
The Pompeii fandom needs to get more respect.
Yeah,
we need to do more work on the Pompeii fandom.
We do.
We need to build it up.
Okay. So, but also one of the good things about the Planet of the Ood is that it does a better job with the Ood. It builds on what we got in the Satan episodes.
Yeah.
Which I don't
where they
watch.
kind of just where they just
Maybe
kind of
that's why I don't watch Planet of the Ood, because their previous episodes were trash to me.
The Ood are great though. No, yeah, right. Their previous episode was garbage. Like their introductory episode was not good.
Yeah.
And they were also like partly because it just wasn't good, but then also because the Ood were there and they introduced this like this idea of these like house elf type for, you know, Harry Potter crossover. We've so many fandoms. But like this house elf type creature who like lives to serve or whatever, and the Doctor doesn't question it. And like granted, they're on a spaceship that's orbiting a black hole. There's a lot going on, but like the Doctor doesn't take a moment to think about them or save them or anything. And then in Planet of the Ood, he actually gets a chance to do it. And I think he even mentions that he failed to save them before. So he's like, we gonna see what's up now. And so I think it definitely does a better job.
Also, the planet was the devil, so you know he was busy.
There was a lot going on.
Skip it.
There was a lot going on, but I think, you know, it was a disservice to like introduce these creatures and then not do anything with them. And so this episode kind of does more with that, and so I like it. It is very sad though. Mm-hmm. The Ood song.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then after that, Donna's like, I'm trying to go home. Like, I was heavy.
Yeah.
I'd like to take a break.
I like to hug my grandfather.
Just after all of that. And so then we go back home, and then it's the Sontaran stratagem in the Poison Sky, which is like, Donna's like, I want to come home. And then Martha calls the Doctor like, you're about to come home. So we out here. We got some shit going on. And so then we get that, which I like.
They're on my skip list.
Really? They're not on my skip list. I like the episodes. They're not like, I think like in the within the season, like these two episodes and then the Doctor's Daughter after are like three that are like very meh, but they're not bad to me.
I skipped the Doctor's Daughter as well.
Yeah.
What? But that's his wife now.
I know, but she also wasn't then, so I was like, okay, I don't care.
Yeah.
Also, it's like, isn't she like an original Doctor's granddaughter as well? So she really is the Doctor's daughter?
Yes.
So great.
It's very trippy because they like met on the show and then we're like, let's fall in love.
Well,
let's have a child that is actually the Doctor's daughter and the Doctor's granddaughter. I think they had a girl.
Listen, Tennant takes his fandom very seriously. He takes his fandom as seriously as we take our Pompeii fandom, and you gotta respect it. No
one can beat Tennant. He was like, listen, I like this show. I'm 12. Let me write into a few places. Oh, I'm gonna grow up and not only star on the show, but meet the guy who was my idol then, and marry her daughter, and have her baby. And had her have my baby. It's levels to his dedication. It's so many.
Dedicated. Everyone likes to bring up Peter Capaldi writing into newsletter when he was 12, but he didn't go on and marry a doctor's daughter. He didn't marry nobody out of it, so.
Nope.
Step your game up, Peter.
Yeah.
So then, so after those three episodes have Martha in it, which is why I like them.
Yeah.
But also, again, they're not like the best ones. The other thing too is that in the first two, they have this that American kid is like the bad guy, and he's really frustrating, and like he's like more annoying than a character should be, even though he's the villain.
He's like the Adam of the season.
Also, he says like he's supposed to be American, but he says like. And maybe it's because he, like, grew up in Britain. We don't really know the full backstory, but he, like, says British phrases. So he, like, calls himself clever. And I'm like, I've never referred to anyone as clever unless I'm talking about Doctor Who.
Right.
So, or referencing Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So that part was kind of, like, strange. There's, like, parts of it that, like, in the writing that felt a little clunky, but, you know, it was all right.
I think the thing about those, and this is the Donna episode, so whatever, but they really help like solidify Martha's like that, because in the same way in which Connie, you saw Donna for the first time and hated her, that was me with Martha.
Right.
And so these were in the first watch. These are when I was like, oh, okay, she's not that bad. She's all right.
They get rid of all the like annoying parts about her and like keep the best parts about her. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I appreciate those episodes a lot.
Yeah.
Of that. And then we get the Unicorn and the Wasp, which is
amazing.
I love
listen.
that episode.
Okay, but like I love Agatha Christie, and I'm like, oh, we going there? Okay.
Yeah, we are.
And then it brings in, like, all of the tropes, and, like, there are title drops to, like, stuff that they don't even, like, actually reference, but, like, they're like, let me slip this title in there, and I'm just, like, nerding out to the extreme levels. And also, it's, like, a fun episode. It's good. It, like, does what I like in terms of, like, the historical episodes where it's like, oh, let's take this thing that is a mystery to everyone and, like, have Doctor Who solve it. Of, like, something that is an unsolved mystery or whatever. So I really love Agatha Christie, so I really love that episode.
The episode is so good. And like you said, it's really fun. And I think, like, when I think about
especially
my favorite...
after those last three.
Exactly. And I think one of the things after my, like, about... words. One of my, like, usually my favorite Doctor Who episodes are the ones that are fun. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, a lot, like, there are a lot of really good ones that, like, I won't watch often just because they're heavier. Like, they're good and they're well written and stuff, but it's like, if I'm gonna go watch Doctor Who, I want to laugh and I want to, like, watch people run around and, like, do silly stuff. And so this episode is really good for that because it's just, like...
fun.
It's just fun. And, we were, just talking about, like, or thinking about the last season of Doctor Who and, like, our first season. And like Robin, and we were like making fun of Robin for being like, this wasn't fun or whatever. But like, also, I can't think of any, like, it's true. Cause like, I can't think of any episodes in the last season, and maybe not the one, well, I mean, I liked the one before it a lot, but like, I couldn't pick out one episode that I would go back and watch like over and over again just cause it's fun.
Yeah.
And, it was really like one of the things I ended up like writing about, because right now the only like truly fun show that I can think of like a science fiction kind of fantasy show is The Librarians on TNT, because it is literally like the stakes are so low and it's fun and like the characters are fun. And I had this whole thing because I missed fun Doctor Who. Like, it got really, and not even just dark, but like even the ones like, here's our obligatory Sleep No More reference, like even the ones that were like not good, like had this like weird sense of like trying to have this like dark depth to it that was just like, can't this just be silly? Like this whole premise is silly, so can't you just play silly? Like you guys do that. It's part of your repertoire. Like,
and I'm trying to think. I feel like the last fun episode was that Robin Hood one.
Yeah, which is completely unmemorable.
Not very good. It's not that good.
The new logo is fun, and I think that I'm hoping it is a harbinger of... Harbinger's not a fun word. It's like a harbinger of happiness. Making that a thing now.
Alliteration, I love it.
Great. Of what is to come with 13, because as we've been saying, like the last few seasons as a whole have been not fun, and I think that's why I like Donna's season so much, is that a lot of her episodes have an element of fun to it. Like even Pompeii is sort of like the world is burning around us, but like, let's run around and like save everyone.
Right.
Like there's
she's like I'm going to speak in Latin to these people who speak Latin. What do they hear?
You know, like a little bit of lightness to it. Yeah. And so I'm hoping
that thing.
That the promotional the promotional materials for 13 so far have been like, her outfit is very like light blue and has like the colors on it, and she has yellow suspenders, and the TARDIS seems like a lighter blue on the outside, and I just really need the TARDIS desktop to not be dark. I just want to be able to see the TARDIS interior. But the logo is sort of like a bright color, like it's using the like Doctor Who orange, as I guess I can call it. And so I'm hoping that that's what we have ahead, because it's just been so dark.
Same. So that episode is really fun. And then we get my favorite episodes, Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead.
Yeah.
Which are just freaking
they're
brilliant. They're so good. And like Moffat wrote them, but he's good with like
one-offs and
just let's introduce some shit and then we'll just
not show running.
No, just
keep it contained.
Right, one episode.
Let's keep it contained. But and the
so
River introduction is good. The River and Donna sort of like, they don't really interact that much in the episodes, but, and they, you know, River has to be all cryptic and be like, I don't know about you, or whatever she says. That's sort of
no, she like knows about her, but then she just can't say.
Yeah, she knows her end is not great, basically, and isn't able to really say. But yeah, those 2 episodes are really good and so well written. And then is the next one Midnight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which and so one of the things,
also so good.
But the thing is, right, is that like so just like after the Planet of the Ood, when Donna was like, I need to go home, right, and like see my family, and like that was really heavy. Like Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead is like, I mean, it's fun to me just because it's like I love those episodes so much, but just like for the characters, it's rough. Like Donna ends up getting taken into the database or whatever, and so she's dealing with all that. She has like she had a family, and so she loses all of that, and so she's just really sad. And so the doctor's like, okay, we're gonna go on a vacation, so we're going to the planet Midnight. And she's like, cool, I'm going to stay in the spa, you go do whatever you're doing. And he's like, are you sure we're gonna like travel across the planet? And she's like, nah, I'm gonna chill. And so I think that is really interesting for her, right, because she's like the companion who's able to like, she understands her limits and takes that time for self-care. She's like, yeah, I'm down to be on another planet. I'm just going to chill on that planet, though. I know wherever you go,
it was supposed to be a chill planet. Like, he didn't go there because he needed to help someone. He was trying to get to go see something, and then she knows that when
he goes anywhere, something goes down. And so she's like, no, I am going to get a massage. You go on a little train ride. Yes. You do that on your own.
Yes. And I hadn't ever thought of that, but that is a element of the strong writing of the season, in that the episode flow is very much like something heavy just happened, so in universe we're going to take care of these characters and make sure that they have some sort of moment of self-care, at least try to. You know, it's like, oh, let's make sure that you're okay. And then, you know, stuff happens and it's like, oh, yikes, this kind of spiraled and now everything's not okay again. Let's go try to go heal ourselves again. But it is very much the flow of that season is very well written, as you were saying, with like internally, but also like the way that they mapped it out, where it's just like, okay, this one's going to be real dark. All right, so let's have the characters deal with that and acknowledge that it was dark and go do something about it to like make themselves feel better, even if it doesn't work.
I mean, I also think that like the idea of like self-care that Brianna brought up is really a good one, because it so reminds me of like conversations I have with like my family when we are planning vacations and stuff. Like my mom and dad want to go to the beach and I want to go to a museum. And like that is like a different, you know, when we went to France, we went to Versailles, and after like walking the main castle, my brother and my mom were like, can we go get some wine and cheese? And I was like, but the Trianons are open. We still have more to see, you know? And so my dad traipsed off with me to go see the like Trianons, like where Marie Antoinette lived. And my brother and my mom were like, all right, well, we're going to go find some wine and cheese and like chill and put our feet up and like eat French food. And I think I love that episode. I don't love that episode. That's wrong. I appreciate that episode. Idea of like, we're friends and we like hanging out together, but like our ideas of relaxation are different. And so like Donna really, it comes again to that, like Donna really knowing who she is in a way. Like there's a lot of issues with like her self-confidence and like what she thinks she's, or like her self-worth, but she knows that she don't want to go on no field trip. She wants to sunbathe and get a massage and not leave the restful planet of, you know, whatever. And she's okay with like, I feel like with Rose and Martha, I don't think that they would have been okay with the doctor like going off on it. Like even if they wanted to rest, they'd be like, okay, I guess I'll go on this tour with you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. And Donna's like, peace out.
Like, bye. 1 o'clock, I have my my face mask appointment. So
2 o'clock is my mani-pedi. Thanks.
Yeah. Please call me when you get back. We'll grab dinner.
Mm-hmm.
But
exactly.
I'm not doing that.
Exactly. And then afterwards, we get Turn Left. And I was looking at the description, and the description is Donna gets help from a mysterious blonde woman. So vague.
I actually skipped I actually stopped watching season 4 after midnight.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
I don't watch the finale, like the last few episodes. I skip them all.
Really?
Yeah.
I watched.
I do like Turn Left, except
I've seen Turn Left
Rose.
twice. I've seen Turn Left twice because, like, I watched it the first time around, and I don't really like Turn Left. And then I watched it the second time because I was, like, in a thing where I was like, I'm gonna watch it all the way through without skipping. And then I, like, petered off by the time I got to season 7, so I never finished. But I mean, it's funny because, you know, as someone who likes time and, like, dimensions and, like, different kind of, like, the ways that it works, like, I think on paper that episode would have been interesting to me, but it's the third, like, Dr. Light episode, and I just am, like, not here to watch Donna get put in a concentration camp, and it's not fun. You know what I mean? I'm like, you're not running around. There's no aliens. There's no nothing. You're just like, the doctor's dead. Great. Okay, this is gonna be annoying. Like, you know? And so, I don't really like that episode. And then Rose, who's like, why are you just, girl, stay in your lane, stay in your dimension. Like, you're the reason all this shit is happening. I mean, is because she's the one who basically brings the Davros back and shit, trying to come back to the doctor.
Was because of self-fulfilling prophecy? Like, she thought something bad was going to happen, and then she went to try to fix it, and then it actually happens?
Maybe. She was talking about, like, the stars were going out or some shit, and, like, but part of it is because, or at least the way I understand it, is that she was, like, because she was coming back and forth.
She was coming back and forth, yeah.
She was, like, punching a hole in the dimensions, and so things got through. So, yeah. But I like the other two. And I think it's just because, like, all the companions are together. I remember the first time I watched the last two episodes, I was just like, everybody's here. You know what I mean? I was just like, it's like a... Yeah. It's like watching an Avengers movie or something. Yes. Where you're just like, it's all coming together. And, like, going back to it, it's super ridiculous and, like, hella X. Like, when I went back to watch another time, like the second time, I was like, oh, this is doing the absolute most. But I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I was like, I appreciate it still, even though it's doing, like, so much.
It's really funny, like, because I feel like the best things about RTD and the best things about Moffat, like, together would make, like, the Doctor Who that I want to see in this world. Mm-hmm. But, like, the things that, like, they get wrong, like, they go hard at.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
they really, like, they hype themselves up, and they're like, I am writing this shit. I got, like, just blasting DMX. I think we decided that's what they were listening to in a previous episode. And it was just like, let's do this.
Yeah. That's, like, the one thing about, I don't really go back and rewatch after Turn Left. I do like Turn Left. I like Turn Left because of, like I said before, like, Donna's insistence that she's unimportant. And I like her journey and that, and I like the idea of alternate dimensions and, like, what would have happened, like a small, you know, the butterfly effect type of thing, and, like, exploring what would have happened if you had not done one thing. Mm-hmm. If you had not been there to stop the Doctor, like, what would have happened? The thing I don't like is I kept being like, why didn't you just fucking regenerate?
Yeah.
You couldn't regenerate.
Yeah.
What? That didn't make no sense.
They love to, like, they love to just come up with ideas on why they can't regenerate.
Right.
Like,
why the Doctor
died.
Take it there.
Just don't take it there.
Right.
It's just, I mean, and that's one of the other things I will say about the final episode, or episodes of Doctor Who is when, of the season, is when he, like, doesn't regenerate. I mean, I guess it, like, does end up becoming a thing for, that's, like, what creates the Dr. Donna, but, like, it's kind of annoying. It's just like, dude, if you don't get over yourself.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think that Turn Left is the, like, actual end, or, like, a great ending to Donna's journey. And then the final two are, like, fun, I guess.
They're just, I think because, it's supposed to be a goodbye for everything, right? Like, it's the end of everything. And to be honest, like, for the last Christmas special for this past season, I was kind of expecting, I was like, let's bring Clara back and let's bring the 11th Doctor. Let's bring everybody back. And, like, I know it would have been ridiculous, but I was still, like, kind of hoping for it.
I appreciated it better than what happened.
So would I. I absolutely would have liked it more than what we got. It would have been a lot and doing the most, but I would have been here for it, you know?
Yeah. Been classic Moffat. He just likes to do the most anyway, but I guess people's schedules is the only thing that restricted him from going there.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, I think the thing about RTD's doing the most is that it does set up, like, which I guess I shouldn't be too mad about, because it sets up season 5, which is one of my favorite seasons, which is like, we literally had a reality bomb. You were doing this, you were doing that. We had time collapsing in on itself. And, like, I need to lower my profile now. I need to go back.
Gotta chill, bring it back down.
Not being the root of all. So I appreciate that aspect of it. But yeah, those final 2 episodes, bringing everyone back. While I think it was great for, like, RTD and for, culminating his run, I don't know if it did Donna, if it did good service to Donna and Donna's run. Since this is the Donna episode, I feel like we should acknowledge. But what we get at I don't remember the names of the final 2 episodes, the end of the world.
Sorry, I didn't read them out. The Stolen Earth and Journey's End.
Journey's End. I knew there was an end in there.
Yeah.
What we get there is the Dr. Donna, and then this really...
That's the only good part.
Which is a great part, right?
And I like that.
Like, the conclusion of it was just, to me, the most cruel. I think it's, like, until Bill, because I feel like Bill's was unnecessarily cruel, it's the cruelest ending that we get for a companion. And I just don't think it needed to be there. I
think Donna, as much as she loved traveling with the Doctor, was grown enough at some point to leave and, like, be like, you have to go live your life. I'm gonna go live mine on Earth, and I'm gonna have a great time doing it because I'm awesome. Like, she was just so self-confident. Even, like, she was temping and, like, didn't know how to, like, navigate, like, getting a full-time job, but, like, she was confident in herself, and, like, I guess maybe they were like, maybe they figured that would be too Martha of her exit, but, like, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I never really had a problem with Donna's exit, other than that it was sad. But I mean, I feel like if she had just left on her own, it would be like the same thing. And I feel like back to back would have been kind of disappointing. I feel like, not saying that she necessarily had to have her memory wiped, but I think that, like, I don't know, there are other ways that it could happen. But I mean, I did like the Dr. Donna because I felt like
I could have even just been like, you can't travel in the TARDIS anymore, right? Like, because you've absorbed whatever and you're human and the humanness and the TARDISness. I don't know, but it just, the wiping of her memory when, like, her whole journey was about wanting to have these experiences. Mm-hmm. And then also, I just kept thinking about, like, practically, what does that mean? So does she think that she was in a coma for a year? Does she, like, have amnesia for a year? Like, there's just...
Did they replace all of her memories with other memories?
I think what they did...
huge gaps, because...
Well, I mean, the other thing is that she wasn't... We don't know how long she was with the Doctor, right? Like, I don't think that it was for years. Because when she gets back, she's, like, talking on the phone to her friend, and it's like she hadn't... Like, she wasn't picking up when the shit was going down with the Earth and, like, the Daleks or whatever. But, like, from the phone call that she had with that person, it didn't seem like she had dropped off of the face of the Earth.
Right.
So I don't think it would have been a lot of time, because, he more or less put her back whenever they went back home or whatever. It wasn't like they had been gone for forever. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. But I did like the Dr. Donna and, like, because, I mean, I've said this before, I really liked episodes, except for the last one, apparently, where the Doctor gets to interact with himself, but then it was cool to also put, like, Donna in there. And then there's, like, 3 of them, and they're doing all these like weird things, and like all of a sudden Donna's good at computers and like all this kind of stuff.
Sentences. I'm the fastest type in Chiswick. It's one of my favorite lines from that episode. Considering I've only seen the episode maybe twice because I don't really like it that much. But her parts are just so good, and she has great, like, she gets to I think in terms of acting it's good for Catherine Tate, and so it's good for RTD, it's good for Catherine, but it wasn't great for the character, in terms of what Robin was talking about. But for Catherine Tate, she gets to be funny, she gets to be sad, she gets to cry. Isn't that the episode where we get the Tennant crying gif?
Yep,
in the rain.
In the rain.
Mm-hmm. Looking like he's in an R&B music video from the 90s.
Absolutely. Baby, don't go. But for Catherine Tate, it's great because she gets to show her true range, because she gets to be Donna, but also she gets to be the doctor and sort of like exemplify her like platonic intimacy with Tennant, in that like how much she knows him and like his mannerisms and stuff. And so it gets to show that off, and then at the end when he like has to wipe her memory, it's like so traumatically sad, and it's partially so sad because she plays it so well. Like both of them do, especially because like, you know, they're friends, and so it's like, oh, you're both sad in real life, you don't get to work together here, and then they're like, oh wait, we don't have to not work together anymore, let's just work together forever. Like all the things. So yeah, I think that there's levels to why it's good and why it's not good.
Yeah, I just think in terms of like, I agree with everything that you said, Connie. I just think in terms of Donna's arc.
I agree. Yeah,
and I think that like in terms of companion arcs in general, the only one that I think they did really well was actually Martha's.
And so that was the other thing I was going to say, is I don't think that like Donna's exit does not bother me. Although I totally understand why it bothers you. But thinking about it, I think it's also because like of the ways that companions have gone, like that was the last one to me that felt like, I guess Clara's was cool, actually. Clara's wasn't bad. But like Amy and Rory's was just like, why? Like, like they should have, and I really do love Amy and Rory, but they should have been gone like 6 or 7 episodes before they actually left. So it was just like,
it was a weird time for them to leave.
And it was a weird episode, like, right. Plus the episode was like unnecessary. Like it just wasn't good.
I've never seen it.
Really?
Still?
Robin, all this talk about you have to watch them all more than once. And
it was too sad. Trash. It was their last episode. Trash. I didn't want it to happen. And then I saw the preview, and it was like the Statue of Liberty was an angel, and I was like, nah. And then I was like, I'll see it later.
I mean, I do remember watching it.
I just never
watching it the first time and being like, oh shit, it's like the Statue of Liberty is an angel? What the fuck is we gonna do? Like all excited and shit, but like going back and like thinking back on it, because I've seen it more than once at this point, but like going back to it, I'm just like, they shouldn't have been, like season 7, the beginning of season 7 was unnecessary. But I do think like on the for me, in terms of like if I were to rank like companions leaving, Donna's is much higher than a lot of them in terms of just like how well it was. Like I think it was well done, even if like
we disagrry with why it was the way it was, right. But it was still like the most well written exit, I think, or
one of them.
Yeah.
And I think that you can.
They're just not good.
One of the things, like you were saying, like it would have, if she would have left on her own, it would have been the same exit as Martha's, like back to back. But I think you could do that well. It doesn't have to seem like the same thing.
True. That's true.
What I mean?
That is true.
Because practically, Rose, Amy, and Bill have kind of similar exits, which is like they leave from like a different plane that he can't get them with anymore. Even though I really don't know. Is Bill? I
don't know what the fuck happened.
Is Bill a pilot?
We don't know.
Thing, or is she dead? I don't know.
We have no idea.
Not one single clue.
You know what I mean? But like they get basically absorbed into like these fixed points in time. And they have to like go on from there, except for Rose is such a entitled woman that she refuses, killing the doctor and collapsing all of the universe with her. because she wants what she wants. But yeah, I think that you could have done it. I'm just salty. That's it. That's it.
I'm with you there.
I think that's fine. Yeah. That's okay.
You try to intellectualize.
I just don't like it.
I just don't like it.
That's fine.
I don't like it.
Sad. Too sad.
Yeah. And I think that I think in terms of just thinking about Donna post her exit, right? I think that so after that, the doctor checks in with Wilfred to check in with Donna. And then we also see at one point that he put some protection in her. So when the master and shit starts doing stuff, she's fine, kind of. The end of time episode is up until the end. When the end happens, then I'm sad and whatever, but before that, it's annoying. But then
Those I also think I've seen twice.
Yeah, and I also think one of the reasons that I like season 9 so much is not only because it's the first time that Moffat ever acknowledges that Russell T Davies thing happened. Actually, it's the second time, because the first time was when Amy didn't know what a Dalek was, and the doctor was like, "But your whole planet was transported by the Daleks." So the second time that it happened, and it's when it's it's the episode where they go what's her name? Macy Williams is in it, and they're hanging with the Vikings, and he has this because he has the same face as dude in Fires of Pompeii, and so he's why was I given this face? And it's a reminder to save one person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so you kind of get to see Donna's legacy past her her run, and so you get that, and then at the end the doctor erases his memory instead of Clara's or whatever, and so there's that too. So that's one of the reasons I like season 9 a lot, is because we do get that nod, and then we also see how much Donna really did affect the doctor. Now, and it's been 300, 400 years, however many years Moffat added on to him at that point. It was a long time.
More than that.
It was probably more. It was maybe 1,000 years at that point. But she's still with him. And it's a thing I would like to see in Doctor Who more often, to be honest, is these people who he's traveled with and had these really important relationships with, and see how those people stay with them. And it doesn't have to be, whole arcs or whatever, but it would be good to see for character development purposes. But yeah, so that's Donna's lit. She transcends time and centuries and shit.
Yeah, I kind of wish we at some point got obviously it was the end of RTD's era, so we just literally never know. But at least with Rose, we know that she's off on another planet with half 10. And Martha's probably running unit, and I think some of the audiobooks have figured that out. But I don't know if the audiobooks that they do mention current Donna, or if they just go back to missing adventures of her season, oh, we just never saw them go here, so here's this book about it. But I'm just curious.
I need to do the audiobooks more. Or at all.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, only because Ty, our last companion guest, our last companion on our TARDIS, mentioned them. But I think that it's interesting to think about Donna having no memory of the Doctor, living in the world of considering what happens in the world all the time, all the things that happen in the world after she is memory wiped. So it's just aliens show up in London all the time.
But she forgets, but she doesn't, which is I guess that's a good thing for them to, because it was her thing before.
Yeah, they
before the Doctor met her.
Development of noticing things, so now she doesn't notice things anymore. And so I guess
no, she never did. Or at least before the Doctor came.
Yeah, right.
She was notorious for missing shit.
Right,
and so they were able to,
just mind wipe her character development of beginning to notice things. So now she doesn't notice things anymore. So I guess she just didn't notice when, Prisoner Zero's in the middle of London, give me, give me Prisoner Zero. But it's just interesting to think about, and I think I've said this before, maybe here, possibly somewhere else, of thinking about when you're watching one companion that there's the Doctor and another companion possibly at that same time running around, or at least not the Doctor, but the companion, like still living
that
in
timeline
London.
is
like Donna still lives in London when Amy exists. Like it's just weird, trippy to think about it.
But and not even that, like she's traveling with the Doctor, or even if she's not, right? Like you go back to when the Doctor met Amy for the first time. That was in like what is that, like 92 maybe?
Oh yeah.
I might be making up that time, but like it's in the 90s.
Yes.
And like other shit is happening. The Doctor's still around.
Yeah.
It'll make your head hurt to think about it, to be honest.
But if you just keep it to London and the present day, still trippy, still head hurty, but it's just interesting to sort of like get more macro with thinking about London and who's in London at any given time. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Mostly because Donna's the only companion who's like actually living in London still. I mean, maybe she's moved. But all the other companions are like not doing that. Or Martha's, in charge of some stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Any last thoughts about Donna Noble?
She has some of the best
She's
episodes.
awesome and the best, and she needs to get more credit. And I just bought a Doctor Who Big Finish book on Audible. I bought one of 11, but still.
That's so funny. Cool. So check us out at blackgirlscreate.org. Read Connie's writing at Black Girl Nerds and all over the internet. Follow us on Twitter at WeBlackandNerds, at Yana_Hollows, at Robin_Ravenclaw, at Constar24, and use the hashtag TARDIS to let us know your thoughts. You can also join our Slack channel where we have a channel dedicated to Doctor Who conversations. So all of these things where you can talk to us about Doctor Who. We would like to do this more often, so you should let us know your thoughts and your feelings. Yeah, so thank you for listening, and next time we will be discussing Amy Pond.
Yay! Wait, are we going to discuss Amy Pond and Rory together?
I think it's going to be Amy and friends.
And
Amy
friends.
and him.
Just like we
Amy and him.
Wolf.
And him.
Amy and her boys.
Yes.
We're not her. Yes, we are.
Yes.
Yeah, we are.
The black girls have the box.